Also on Capitol Hill, lawmakers weighed in on President Trump's phone call, one that was not originally scheduled to happen. Yamiche Alcindor reports on the controversial call between Mr. Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin.
The snow showed no signs of letting up in Washington today, and neither did criticism of President Trump and his phone call congratulating Russian President Vladimir Putin on his landslide re-election.
What is the president thinking? What are we congratulating him for being great into hacking into Americans' voting rights?
I think Putin's a criminal. I wouldn't have a conversation with a criminal.
I think he's afraid of the president of Russia.
Why?
Well, I think one can speculate as to why. That the Russians may have something on him personally that they could always roll out and make his life more difficult.
President Trump had no public events today, but instead took to Twitter, claiming other presidents, like President Obama, congratulated Putin in the past, too. He added, quote, "Getting along with Russia and others is a good thing, not a bad thing." On Sunday, Putin won his fourth term with more than 76% of the vote, a victory some election observers said was rigged. The next day, White House staff downplayed Mr. Trump's reaction.
Look, obviously the president knows Vladimir Putin won the election. What I can say is that there are no scheduled phone call between the two right now.
But by Tuesday, the president differed.
I had a call with President Putin and congratulated him on the victory, his electoral victory.
Last night, the rift between the president and his staff widened, with the Washington Post reporting he ignored specific instructions from his national security staff not to congratulate Putin. White House staffers also asked Mr. Trump to condemn the controversial poisoning of a former Russian spy in Britain, according to the report. But White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said he didn't.
I'm curious, did the recent poisoning in the United Kingdom come up in the call?
I don't believe that was discussed in today's call.
White House Chief of Staff John Kelly reportedly blamed staffers today, growing, quote, frustrated and deeply disappointed about leaks of Mr. Trump's briefing advice to the media, per White House officials. This, all in the wake of Mr. Trump's apparent tougher talk on Russia in recent weeks. Last week, the White House rolled out its harshest set of sanctions against Russia since Mr. Trump took office. But he avoided questions on the topic.
Any comment on the Russian sanctions, Mr. President?
Mr. Trump did point to Russia as being behind the nerve gas attack on its former spy in Britain.
It's a very sad situation. It certainly looks like the Russians were behind it. Something that should never, ever happen. And we're taking it very seriously, as I think are many others. Thank you.
Mr. Trump has had a controversially collegial relationship with Putin in the past. The president said he takes Putin at his word that he did not meddle in the 2016 elections. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Yamiche Alcindor.